What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Jake Podger, the host of tonight's AFC East Summit Show. I am fired up to be here. I got the Josh Allen chicken wing shirt on. It's a Victory Tuesday for us, for most of us, I should say. Sorry, Anth. But a lot to dive into. Little Week 1 recap, maybe a little bit of maybe a highlight or two thrown in the mix too. I'm really gonna take it to the next level here, folks. But really excited for this show tonight. We're gonna preview the Bills-Dolphins matchup as well as the other AFC East matchups. But more to come right after this. Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back on the AFC East Summit. It's we got a full packed house tonight. We actually have 2 Pats reps. You know, of course, it's after a victory, right? You know, they were too afraid to come on earlier on when we were doing predictions and all this other stuff and yada yada yada. But I already see some Jets comments in the comments section here, Anth, and I'm going to start with that because it's fresh on our minds. The game was last night. I know you guys took a tough L to the San Francisco 49ers. But first, before we get to that, I do want to introduce our panel tonight. I am joined tonight by Anthony, representing the New York Football Jets. We got Philly Fins fan Keith, representing the Miami Dolphins. We got Chris from Pats Nation. Welcome back, Chris. He's been with us for many shows in the past, and he finally decided to show face again. Very happy to see you out there, sir. And Tyler, looking real good. I mean, you want to talk about dressing to the nines for a Victory Tuesday. This young man, he's got the American flag tie and everything, man. He's ready to go.
We're finally back to the traditions we really need to respect.
There we go. I love it. Well, let's get back to what we were talking about previous to this. And I'm sorry, Anth, we're going to dive right into it. We're just going to rip that Band-Aid off. I want you to give us the full analysis from yesterday's game. I know it didn't end the way you thought it would. I think you thought the Jets were going to put on a little bit better of a show than what they did, but talk to me about it, brother.
All right. Well, I mean, if we're going to start it from the very beginning, the Jets could not get out of their own way from the very beginning. First drive, they got the ball. First 2 carries, very little happens. I went back and I was watching the film from the All-22. By the way, shout out to NFL Pro. If you don't have it, get it. Mm-hmm. I've never found a better NFL product than this. It's incredible, dude. You can there's a search function. You literally just put in the name of a player and you see every single play that player was involved in.
What is this? This is NFL Pro, Anth?
NFL Pro.
I've never heard of that. It's not NFL Plus, right?
It comes with NFL Plus.
Oh,
it is a completely separate website. If you will, I have my NFL Pro up. I will share my screen and I will.
Yeah, let's see it. Hold on.
Let's go ahead and do this because you guys need to see it. All right. Let's see if I can go right here. I'm going to go to StreamYard. I'm going to go to NFL Pro. You guys see this?
Let's see. Let's pull it up.
Not yet.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Now we're talking, and we're blocking Anthony. Hold on.
Let's go ahead and let's mention a player. Let's say Tyler Conklin. Tyler Conklin. Now, do I want to separate by passing or rushing? On the field? Sure. Every single play Tyler Conklin is involved in the entire game.
Wow.
Now that's a great tool.
Yeah, that's a pretty dope.
Holy cow. Let's go ahead and give me an obscure Bills player.
Let's go MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, because guess what? He had a 19-yard catch in our game the other day.
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm. A big one.
Coordination as a Bill.
Right now, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. No, that's that game.
It might be tough to spell.
No, I have it up here already. I have to.
See that? Okay.
Let's go to new.
Wish we could enlarge the screen a little bit. Let's do that. There we go. That might be a little bit better.
They got their seat upgrade. John Middleton, John Weber.
Go ahead. I don't even have to worry about spelling. I'm going to type in Val as Marquez Valdez-Scantling right here.
Oh, that is cool, man. I love that.
Oh wow.
Raheem,
Okay.
I'm telling you,
Look at
every
this.
play he's involved in.
They are chirping
And
you
I
right
want
now
to
hard,
thank
Anth.
him.
He's trying to
Yeah.
Oh,
divert
that's great.
attention.
That is really cool, though. I love that. That is really, really innovative. I am so here for that. I mean, that is what it's all about, right?
So,
Very cool.
I was watching the film just this morning, so you understand that I'm legit about it. I was watching it in all 22 this morning before I went to work, and the biggest difference between the two teams was their ability to run the football. The Jets continued to run the football into stacked boxes of 8 and 9 San Francisco 49ers. And the offensive line had very little cohesion. So Breece Hall could get very little going. Additionally, and I did notice this, and this is a bit of an issue for me, they were selling out hard against the run, but they also weren't biting against play fakes. And I'm wondering if that was an issue that they saw on tape. They just knew what formations to expect what plays out of. Because I noticed visibly that Josh Allen was not comfortable or that Aaron Rodgers was upset at how little the linebackers were actually biting on play fake. Not really a huge fan of what was going on in terms of the play calling. But all in all, we went to the half. The game was still pretty close.
And then finally,
what you'll notice, you're in the go to the stats. Go to team stats real quick. Now that you're there, 48 minutes and 40 seconds of time of possession versus 21-20. And by the way, it was like 38 minutes to like 12 or 13 until the end of the fourth quarter when they get packed it in. They ran 70 plays to our 49, and that's not including like the touchdown drive by Tyrod at the end of the game when it was garbage time. It was actually probably about 65 plays to 21 in the middle of the third quarter.
That'll do it.
Our run defense is going to look bad when they've been out there for the entire game. We didn't get destroyed stopping the run until we got to the third quarter, and the defense was completely gassed.
Yeah, that yards per play metric especially really illustrates your point, I think.
Yeah. I had no problem with the referees. I'm not going to blame anything on Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to blame anything aside from the fact that we literally couldn't run the football no matter what we did. I will bitch a little bit about the fact that the most successful thing that we had going for us was dump offs to Breece. And they just never called screens. They never called dump offs. They never moved the pocket. It was all just drop back and hope to sling it. If I digress, let me go ahead and get back to it. First quarter, we couldn't get out of our own way. 2 runs to go for nothing, but it's still 3rd and 5, 3rd and manageable. Aaron Rodgers drops back, tosses it to Lazard. Perfect shot. He drops it. Okay. All right, fine. We'll get off the field. We force a 3 and out, get the ball back. Get to 3rd down, dump off to Breece. He gets the fumble punched out. They get the ball on the 30-yard line. Still held them only to a field goal. But, it's already starting to look not so great. Next drive, punt. We get the ball back. Force after another 3 and out. We drive down. Best drive that we had the entire game. Score a touchdown. And that was pretty much it for the Rodgers offense until that Lazard on the slant that cut the defense in half for 30-yard gain and a touchdown. We couldn't get anything going. And functionally, the only difference between the two teams was the fact that they could run the football and we couldn't. They could run the clock out and we couldn't. We struggled to get pressure on Purdy early in the first half. By the end of the first half, it was looking better. By the second half, we were doing kind of fine in terms of getting pressure. I think we finished up with 3 sacks on him. But the dude was also tossing dimes out there. There was the one throw that Ayuk dropped. Will McDonald was in his face Like, he was going to take Brock Purdy's head off, and Brock Purdy lined that ball beautifully, and Ayuk still dropped it in the end zone, thank God. But, like, both teams are pretty evenly matched, and this is what happens when the New York Jets in the preseason decide that they're going to not play a lick of first-team offense or defense. And then your first game is against the defending NFC champions. The two teams aren't at a completely different level, but in the preparation that they had, it sure looked like it. And by the end of the game, Jordan Mason just took our head off. He just crammed it down our throat, and we didn't have an answer for it. So
That's Kyle Shanahan for you.
Yeah, no, it was. I didn't. There are always going to be some. There are always going to be some. How would I say? Coaching issues with Robert Saleh. There's some stuff that came up that I didn't absolutely love. But like, all in all, it was we didn't lose because of bad coaching. We lost because they were prepared and we were less prepared. Their offensive line showed cohesion and ours didn't.
So do you think, I mean, obviously totally underperformed what your expectations were, right? I mean, this is a much better Jets team than I think what we saw last night.
I wouldn't say that it totally I mean,
expected a little bit of it?
I told Keith, even when we were doing our prediction show, like, I didn't feel amazing about going into this game. Like, this is probably the toughest team on our schedule all year.
Yeah.
And Rodgers hasn't played in almost 2 years. I thought he looked pretty sharp. Garrett Wilson didn't play at all in the preseason. I thought he looked pretty sharp. He's a stud. Yeah, he really is. They didn't do some things that I expected them to do. Like, why did you draft Braylon Allen and then Breece Hall 3rd and 1? He's the one taking that 2 fullbacks.
Good point.
Some stuff I didn't. They didn't have a single 2-gapping nose tackle that they brought up from the practice squad or that was even on the active roster, the 47-man roster, 49-man roster. Like, they didn't even have one. Like, this is a team is going to try to run the ball down your throat. Mm-hmm. But personnel-wise, they couldn't be bothered. I don't know. I don't. Again, these aren't the differences that make the difference of that game. The 49ers were a better football team. It wasn't the lack of depth behind. Like, there's a lot of Jets guys on Twitter right now that are complaining about losing John Franklin Myers. That wasn't the issue. Like, they weren't running the ball down our throat until the third quarter, when the defense was up to 60 defensive snaps already in the middle of the third quarter. Like,
they're just gassed. Absolutely gassed.
There's
hey, Anthony.
At that point.
Hey, Anthony, quick question. Just in your own expert opinion, how much of the Jets' ineffectiveness to stop the run defense was based on the Hassan Reddick holdout?
Nothing at all. Hassan Reddick's not known for he was brought in to hit the quarterback. Nobody's bringing in Hassan Reddick to stop the run. We're talking about a 245-pound defensive end. This guy's supposed to pin his ear back and hit the quarterback, and we hit the quarterback plenty. Brock Purdy kept getting back up. I'm proud of Brock Purdy. What Brock Purdy did in the face of pressure was fantastic. Good for him. Undrafted free agent, I get it. Dude doesn't have a rocket of an arm, fine. He puts the ball where it needs to be, and he gets it out quick. He did great. I can't take it away from San Francisco. They whooped their ass. Garrett Wilson said they whooped their ass. I'm going with what Garrett Wilson said.
Fred Warner said it before the game. Garrett Wilson said it after the game.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Dude,
so they agree.
Fred Warner went absolutely ham. Did you notice that, like, every time they ran the football, it was Fred Warner on top of Breece Hall?
Oh, yeah.
That dude was just nasty. He was brutal, man. Every time I think Quincy Williams is good, I got to watch Fred Warner.
Hell yeah, brother. He's a different level. I mean, there's one and then there's two, and there's a big drop off there. I love Matt Milano, but he's not Fred Warner.
No.
Matt Milano's injured, obviously, but
Fred Warner is
I'm just
special,
saying
man.
There is a
Fred Warner.
difference. He is the best linebacker in football. There's no question about it.
Absolutely.
Unreal.
Absolutely. There's a bunch of questions in the comments, so I might as well take my licks now.
Let's go to the comments here. So first off, Mad Chatter starting off hot. Aaron Rodgers is old. Now,
Also,
This guy's coming out with news. What's up?
Before we do the segment, we should get the screen share off the screen so we can see your face as you go through this.
Let me move that a little bit.
It's not been good.
At the top, man. Here we go.
All right.
You know what? We're gonna put you right in the middle. We're gonna put you right where Keith is there. Sorry, Keith.
Hey.
Okay. Let's start with this one. Aaron Rodgers is old.
I didn't know.
But Mike coming in hot. Aaron Rodgers can still throw rockets. We saw that on the Alan Lazard pitching.
I did give it to Mike. Mike was the first one to point out he's throwing piss missiles out there, bro.
Yeah.
He was absolutely throwing dots.
That he was. Tom coming in hot. Hi, Big L. Oh, boy. Tom not usually one to chirp too much. I love that, though, Tom. Mike saying the Jets' run defense is soft.
Yeah. After about 60 plays, anybody gets that way.
I would agree. We've seen it happen here in Buffalo plenty of times. Trust me. Bills better not come out slow against the Dolphins because they won't come back from that. I agree. We'll get into that in a little bit. Tom saying, welcome, Tyler, to the show. Always a pleasure to have a Pats rep on the AFC East Summit. Of course, we got two of them to show up after a huge victory for them on Sunday. Absolutely.
Been a busy
doggone it,
past
yes.
couple of weeks, but here I am.
Well, we appreciate you, brother. You look good. You dress to impress, and it's making a statement. That's for darn sure. Doggone it. Yes, we did get your email. We appreciate you, man. Sir, I should say. Yes, we appreciate your support, and thank you for joining us again tonight. Tyler dressed in a suit representing well. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Weston, there's the best panel. Whoa. All right, Weston, I love that. Good to see you back, Chris. Absolutely. Jake's shirt is awesome. Thank you, sir. No big deal. Josh Allen and some chicken wings. Is this not the most Buffalo shirt of all time? We're only missing some beers and maybe a couple tables on here. We'd be all set.
I've got a pretty good table my computer's on right now that you could definitely jump on and, split it apart. So
you're getting me fired up, Tyler. You're getting me fired up, brother. Yeah, a lot of welcome backs. It's like a reunion tonight, guys. But yeah, let's get back into any more comments on this Jets game. I'm going to go to the rest of the panel here. We heard Anthony's take on it a little bit. I'm going to go to Keith because haven't heard much from Keith. Keith, give us your take from last night's game.
I think Anthony summed it up pretty well. The 49ers kicked their asses. I don't think that this is necessarily indicative of what kind of teams they're going to be going forward. You don't want to peak in week one. Mm-hmm. So the Jets in week one are going to look a lot different from the Jets in week 10 and week 18. And you got to learn from this and grow from this and move on from this. But in week one, the 49ers were a better team than the New York Jets. Period. They played better. They were better. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he looked old necessarily, but I think the entire Jets roster just didn't look up to snuff last night. They looked rusty. They looked like they were a step behind all night long. And I know this isn't like hard-hitting analysis of getting into specific players or whatever, but look, that's what it is. Anybody who watched that game last night saw a 49ers team that was better than the New York Jets, period.
Yeah. I think that's well put.
But, in week 18, the Jets might be the better team. Because
let me also say, just to get to your point, because I completely forgot to get to that. I don't think this is the final form of the New York Jets. I do think we're trading for Devontae. I do think we're going to go after him by week 9 or so. It doesn't look like Hassan Reddick's coming back, which means that we're getting all the cap space we were supposed to have from him. I think they're going to make a trade. At this point, we know that future picks don't matter anymore. So, if they have to trade a second for Devontae Adams, I think they'll do that. So the final Jets is not.
Where was Mike Williams? What happened with him?
I think he played like 10 snaps, dude. It was not there. It was not there at all. I don't think he's healthy. I said that. I think I said that when we were doing our prediction show. My biggest fear for this team is what happens if it's Allen Lazard as wide receiver 2. Now, Allen Lazard had 2 touchdowns last night, but like he also had he had a really costly drop. It was not the it's hard when he's your wide receiver 2, dude. Like
You don't want him to be your wide receiver 2 going forward.
Our best drives came when it was like it's Garrett Wilson, it's Breece Hall. It's Garrett Wilson, it's Breece Hall. That's our entire offense right now.
Yeah.
Where's Malachi Corley? We spent a 3rd-round pick on him.
Right.
I don't think he even suited up last night, or if he did, I didn't see him. Xavier Gibson,
Especially against a physical team.
Brownlee played over him.
Yeah, it is very confusing to me. You think of like a guy that would match up well against a physical team. Malachi Corley is that guy. Like this dude's a running back playing receiver. Why didn't he play it all? It's just wild to me. I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't think this version of the New York Jets is the most optimal. I certainly don't think that it's the final form.
I agree with that. Soft Gardner almost died out there when he ran into Debo.
That's true. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't because he was soft. Debo's that hard.
Debo's a beast.
I think they said that Debo's in the best shape that he's been in a few years. I think he's dropped down to his lightest weight, so he's just looking pretty explosive.
Yeah.
They were also commenting on Sauce last night, saying he's lighter than he's been in recent years.
He had an incredible. I think he had like 6 targets, like 1 reception, 4 yards, or something like that.
Yeah,
Sauce was
locked down
yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I saw a knockout that he had got on Brandon Ayuk that was in his hands. He just reached around at the perfect moment. So Sauce Gardner was just pure lockdown on the defense all night. So definitely can't fault the cornerbacks. I think it was just the constant running down the middle, just down their throats that really just did the Jets in toward the 3rd and 4th. You could just see Jordan Mason getting stronger as the game went on. So
yeah,
agreed. Doggone it, panic mode, Anthony. I don't think he's panicking. I think he's totally fine. You know,
this is just a normal Jets team, really. A normal result for the Jets in Week 1. There's not much to be concerned about here. This is just how the Jets are, and we need to accept them for who they are, and they need to accept who they are themselves.
Wow. Tyler coming in from the top row.
Check this out. Soft Gardner. Hold on, his tackling technique was bad. How about you teach him how to tackle? How about you fly out here, or I'll fly out to Buffalo, wherever you are, and you can teach me how to tackle properly. You can tackle me.
Now that I would pay to watch.
Yeah.
I would love to see it. We should do an Oklahoma drill live stream the Oklahoma drill.
Do that.
That would be a blast.
ACL tearing all over the place.
I will, no problem. Hey, he's willing to take your money on it.
There we
So
go.
we gotta set this
all
up.
right. I don't know. Hey, Brett, Ant's been hitting the gym a little bit too. So I don't know, brother. You know, I don't know what you've been doing physically lately. I know Brett's coming off a little injury himself, so this is going to be an interesting matchup. I don't know where the money's lying right now, but listen, Brett is a Bills fan, so I might have to side with Brett on this, Anth. I'm sorry.
He's a lot younger than me too, so
yeah, he's got the youth.
That's great. Jessica, good to see you out there. Jets are an embarrassment. You are taking the licks hard right now, Anth. I'm so sorry.
I showed up. I knew it was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to be this bad, but I knew the direction of it.
Sweet victory for all of us but Anth. Weston, we had a better tackling drill in high school football called Midnight Alley. All right, Weston. Listen, Kansas football, don't sleep on it. They got some good high school football teams out there. All right, boys. Enough talk about the Jets. All right, I'm going to cut it right now. We could talk about them still, but let's move on to the next matchup here. We have 2 Pats reps on tonight, and I feel like we are doing them a solid injustice by not letting them just take over the show for a hot second. So, Chris, Tyler, you guys sort this out. I don't know who's going to start first, but talk to me about this impressive victory against the Cincinnati Bengals. Who they? I don't think so.
Tyler, I'll let you go ahead and start it off.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of what we like to see this Patriots team. If we're going to see them win football, it's going to be, gritty offense, Ramondre Stevenson really taking over a game, and the defense just completely shutting down anything the other side tries to do. Like, I remember we're talking before the season, we didn't really know if Christian Gonzalez was going to be back to how he was. But, I think he's, we can say that he's pretty good player these days. Trading away Matt Judon, people, questioned the pass rush of the Patriots, which I think was fair at the time because Matt Judon was a pretty big part of that for the past few years. But we got Keanu, we got Josh Uche. It's not a problem, clearly, at least not against the Bengals. So Joe Burrow was getting some pressure out there. Forced fumbles from Duggar, forced fumble from Keon White. We got the one that Duggar forced, and win the turnover battle, and we just won the game.
Yeah. Completely agree with Tyler right there. I think that was the biggest focal point. I mean, of course, we look at the stat line and we don't see too much involvement from Jacoby Brissett, more of a game manager, which is kind of what we expected of Jacoby Brissett. Just kind of go in there, handle it, play some clean football, not give the ball away. So I was really happy to see. But man, that defense was locked down. Christian Gonzalez, I'm kind of upset because he changed his jersey from 6 to 0. So now I got to get his jersey with the 0 on it now. So, but
that's a novelty, Chris. Hang on to it, man.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna have to sign when he comes to Florida.
Yeah.
When he comes to beat up the Dolphins, I'll come over here and get his signed jersey.
We missed you, Chris. We missed the comments like that, man. You just sneak them right in. Incredible. All-time troll. I love it.
A little banter, a little bit, but absolutely to build on Tyler's point, really love seeing the pass rush, even with missing Matthew Judon. Keon White was definitely out there killing it. 2 sacks this game. So just amazing. Defense was blocked down. Just really loved it. And then seeing Ramondre Stevenson just run all over the Bengals defense was just amazing. So it still doesn't address the concerns. I feel like the biggest concern for the Patriots from last season is just their overall offensive prowess. Like they don't have. I want to see them put up some numbers. I want to see them win in a dominant way. Because easily just Joe Burrow could have just caught Chase in one streak and we would have just lost the game. So I want to see them really put these teams away moving forward and see. But I feel like we won't get that until we see Drake May running the offense.
Yeah, for now it's going to be a lot of grind and pound and just kind of grinding the games out and really forcing it. I mean, there could definitely be some explosiveness from the offense as time goes on. Tyquan Thornton's pretty good at that. We got Polk, who's by all accounts pretty good receiver, so glad to have him. But I'm glad that we're here tonight. We can celebrate a return to tradition for the NFL. The Patriots obviously should be one of the best teams at all times. It's good for the league. It's good for the country. And I think we should all be glad that we're back here where we should be.
I love it, Tyler. That's a hell of an endorsement. I want to bring up RX Fly Fishing's comment. Is Burrow's hand still bothering him? Did you guys notice that in the game at all? I didn't really watch a whole lot of that game, admittedly. I was at the Bills-Cards game in person, so I wasn't watching any of the 1 p.m. games. I went back and watched some of the clips and whatnot, but what did you guys think of his performance? I know, obviously, not quite up to snuff, and they got their own issues right now that they're tending to.
Yeah, I definitely think that Burrow is still dealing with lingering injuries. I think also his offense not being at 100%. He was missing T. Higgins out there, and then I think with the new running back structure that they have in, trying to figure out how they're going to mix in with Zach Moss, with Chase Brown. I feel like Chase Brown was really underutilized in that game, especially for the explosive runner that he is. But I think Joe Burrow is still dealing with just that, just lingering pains and lingering injuries from last year. So later on in the season, if he can get healthy, I think we're going to see a different Bengals offense. Never going to really chalk out the Bengals, count them out, because I know they're a highly offensive team, Super Bowl contenders every year. So I'm just glad we got the W. That's all I can say.
For sure, man. I want to bring up Tom's comment. Tom, thank you so much, sir. We appreciate the super chat. Who's afraid of the Chiefs this year?
You.
Are we afraid?
Yeah,
we don't know what fear is in New England.
Yeah, I mean, I love Tyler's enthusiasm, but when that Chiefs game, they came out faster than ever. They came out more explosive. Their defense was stronger. Chris Jones was in their face all night long. Xavier Worthy came out and made an immediate impact as a rookie. It was just scary to see. Rashee Rice is still just building on last year's performance. The Chiefs look like a whole nother team. Last year there was doubts. This year I'm not really sure who's gonna. I mean, just we'll see. But they look scary.
They got to serve the injury, really.
Mm-hmm. It was wild to see them basically run the same play like 3 times in a row with Rashee Rice just over the middle. He was winning inside every time, and that dude balled out, and it's insane. He's not suspended, so they're just going to ride this out till probably December, January, until maybe a verdict is reached with his case, and that'll be that. So good for them, and they're going to get Marquise Brown back soon too. Hollywood Brown going to be coming back into the mix there. So they're only going to get more dangerous. So
Yeah.
Weston, I'm sure you're fired up, man. I'm sure you're fired up. Look at this. Yeah. And we don't even have Hollywood Brown or Charles Omenahu. Tom, thank you again for the super chat, man. Appreciate
Absolutely,
you.
Tom. Thank you. I'm scared of the Chiefs. I mean, I'm not afraid to admit it. The Dolphins lost to the Chiefs twice last year, and they are the Super Bowl champions. They're the back-to-back Super Bowl champions. Anybody who isn't scared of them, anybody who isn't doesn't have one eye on the Chiefs is fooling themselves.
Yep.
As long as number 15 is under center, as long as Andy Reid's patrolling the sidelines, the Chiefs are a dangerous team. You Pats fans, you're 1-0, and that's great. I still don't see a great future this year for you. I still don't think it's going. I still don't see a winning record from you guys this year. But it was a nice victory. It was a nice little victory. Jake, we're in a suicide pool together. You took the Bengals this week. I backed out on the Bengals last minute. About 10:30.
You were talking so much smack about taking the Bengals every single time.
About 10:30, I thought, you know what? I don't know that the Bengals are going to win this game. So I backed out and I went with the Seahawks instead.
Unbelievable, man.
Follow your gut, Keith. Follow your gut every day.
Saw from Mike Rice on Twitter, the ESPN runs their Eliminator Challenge, I think it is.
Yeah.
30% of people had picked the Bengals. Yep. So about a third of people picked the wrong team and are now out.
Good. Yep.
Luckily, we have a little bit of a grace period, if you will. You get what do you get? 2 losses total, Keith?
Yeah. So you get 2 strikes. The only caveat with that particular suicide pool is that there are 4 randomized weeks throughout the year where you have to pick 2 teams. Anthony's right. I was talking crap on that. I was saying, Bengals are the suicide pool pick of the week. And 10:30 Sunday morning, I thought, you know what? I don't like this pick anymore.
Smart man. You're a smart man for that. I was not so smart, and I was about maybe 12 or 14 beers deep at about 10 a.m. Sunday morning. So that's where I was.
You weren't thinking straight.
No,
Keith,
not at all.
Hey Keith, week 5 comes around and you're still in your survivor pool. Who are you picking? Who are you picking as your player? Or who are you picking as your your survivor pick for that week?
I don't know who are the Dolphins playing the Patriots week 5?
They are, yeah.
Ooh, baby.
I'd feel comfortable taking the Dolphins there. But I'd have to see what the rest of the schedule looks like in week 5. I'm not just gonna take the Dolphins for the sake of taking the Dolphins. Like this week, I think the Chargers are the prohibitive favorites to win their matchup against the Panthers. But look, week 5, we'll mix it up. We'll mix it up, Chris. And we'll get into what happened with the Dolphins, but I'm still confident in what the Dolphins can do on a football field.
You're talking about the Panthers, and I gotta say, I think that you could there's a decent chance, above average chance, I think, that you could get away with winning an Eliminator Challenge by picking the team that plays the Panthers every single game this year.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't because you have to look at different teams, I think, right? But
they got to win one. I feel like the Panthers aren't going to go 0-17 this year. They got to win at least one game. That'd be a heartbreaking.
That was a
brutal
game.
Brutal. I don't know. They look like if you could just put Tom Brady on a football field with nobody else and he'd still win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Panthers actually burned me last year in my suicide pool. I took the Texans against them, and the Panthers pulled that game out against the Texans.
Oh yeah.
So
there's always one of those, it's like college football. There's always
any given Sunday. Any given Sunday. You just never know. That's the beauty of these suicide pools. It's the beauty of football. We all love it. And look, everybody thought that the Patriots were most definitely going to lose to the Bengals on Sunday. And
not me.
Yeah, fair enough, Chris. But most people did. Most people, if they were being honest with themselves, said, "Yeah, this is the Bengals win." But the Patriots came out and they did their thing. They played, about as well as you could hope for them to play. As far as shutting down Bengals on defense, playing their brand of offense, which is basically running Ramondre Stevenson down their throats and not making too many mistakes on offense. Hats off to him. Hats off to Gerard Mayo for getting his first NFL victory and for preparing the Patriots for that game. I'm not taking anything away from what they did because you shouldn't. That was a nice victory for them.
Without a doubt. Yeah, Weston naming some teams that he's a little afraid of. And how about this? Hey, Keith, anytime you go against the Broncos, hence Seattle, then it's always a good bet. Weston, notorious Broncos hater, does not like the Broncos at all. Probably his least favorite. Them and the Raiders. You hate both of them, very much. Like, you have voiced your opinion several times on that, and I love it. I am so here for it, brother. Let's be honest. The Bills, Dolphins, and Jets are all happy the Bengals got this loss. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it helps us for sure. Yeah. Top 5 power rankings. Brett, here we go. 49ers, 1. Cowboys, 2. Chiefs, 3. 4. Lions, 5. Eagles. Okay. Interesting.
I think I like the Chiefs over the Cowboys. It's like my first thought on seeing that list.
Yeah, I would say so. I think I like the Lions over the Cowboys as well.
The Eagles were surprisingly had a surprisingly powerful offense this week. I was very surprised, but very happy to see Saquon Barkley back to rare form.
Dude, he looked good. Jalen Hurts has to be a little smarter with the football. I know, listen, I'm a Josh Allen fan, right? So I know a thing or two about turnovers, okay? Jalen Hurts was throwing like YOLO balls at one point. He just crossed his body into the end zone. Multiple really bad interceptions. Almost got picked off like 5 total times in that game. So he'll be okay. I love Jalen Hurts. I'm a big fan. I think he'll right his wrongs. It'll be good. He does not like the Bengals either, Weston. Took the Jets to lose. Dude, Brett's really getting on the Jets today. I love it.
I mean, no, I'm good. It's good to get the Jets out of the way. Like, it's actually really good to get one of the harder teams to
out
pick
of the way
out of the
early.
way. Like, it's a good one to pick. If Brett really did that, good on him.
Well, when you say it's good to get the Jets out of the way, I think we should just get the Jets entirely out of the way,
Who invited this guy anyway?
I thought you guys were friends. Anthony invited Tyler onto the show, and now Tyler just freaking every shot he can take, and I love it.
He knew what he was signing up for. There's no way you haven't talked. There's no way, Anthony, you didn't call that in any of our conversations.
I take advantage.
Yeah, how about Leonard Floyd? He looked really good last night.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, he did.
You know who
did.
sorry, go ahead, Jake.
No. Are you going to say Keon White? Because we got to put some love on that guy's name.
No, yeah, Keon White for sure. For Keon White for sure, he was a monster.
Yeah.
But one person I was going to kind of take away from the AFC East anyway was Anthony Richardson. My God, what a throw! What a throw!
Nutty.
He could have had it like 450 yards. He missed A.D. Mitchell 3 times.
3
Two
times.
of them on just busted coverages or AD just gets free. That dude is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah,
and that throw he made to Alec Pierce, slip coming out the snap, falling backwards off foot, and he threw a 60-yard bomb on a string. It was crazy.
But we're burying the lead on this on Anthony Richardson. He missed AD on those throws. He's missed a lot of throws on Sunday. He hit that one to Pierce, and that's great. And he's got a great arm. We all knew that coming in when he came out into the draft. But he missed a lot of throws. Like it was. He doesn't look like an NFL quarterback to me. He looks like a guy that can throw the ball really far.
Yeah, but let's not ignore the fact that he is still, after his second year, or in his second year, the youngest starting quarterback in the NFL.
That is kind of crazy.
He's 1 month older than Drake May.
Yeah,
wow.
Exactly. That was the point I was going to make. Thank you, Anthony. Devil's advocate is like he's a young quarterback. He didn't get to play a whole, an entire season last year. He got injured. He got injured really early and was out. So just come out here and did he throw for the most pass yards this week?
No, it was Tua.
Yeah. Tua? Well, that's to be expected. So, but still after missing a whole year and coming back, he's still played phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, Brett, we're going to talk about this in a minute. Kind of crazy. Marvin Harrison Jr., definitely a disappointing debut. 1 catch for 4 yards. I think he screwed over a lot of fantasy owners, including Keith. I think you mentioned you had him. Yeah, that's tough, man.
I blame Murray.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he missed him wide open, and that could have been the ball game, really. So definitely partially on him. But
we're going to get into the Bills last, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's talk about this. We're done with the Pats for a hot second, boys. Just hang tight. Let's talk Dolphins and Jags a little bit. Keith, slow start for your boys. But they rallied. They came back. And what a wild sequence of events prior to this game. I know we won't talk too much about it, but obviously the Tyreek Hill thing. And then he goes and does the most goated thing of all time is him just doing the handcuff celebration in the end zone. I mean, that was pretty incredible.
Fair point.
So let's talk about it, man. What's going on with your running backs, by the way?
Achane and Mostert didn't practice. Mostert took a shot early on in that game, and he wasn't himself afterwards. Mostert didn't look like the Mostert that we saw last season. That's potentially a problem moving forward. Devon Achane got a lot of run in this game. He caught a lot of passes, got some runs. Jeff Wilson was the one that closed this game out for the Dolphins. Mike McDaniel loves himself some Jeff Wilson. He always has, and he's just a solid back.
Yeah.
But Jalen Wright didn't dress for this game. I would imagine that's going to change on Thursday. I think Jalen Wright's probably going to be dressed and ready to go for the Bills game. And I would imagine that Devon Achane plays and Raheem Mostert doesn't.
I hope Jalen Wright comes in because I dropped him in one of my leagues. I dropped Jordan Mason for Jalen Wright, and it was probably one of the biggest regrets.
Oh,
brother. Can you get Jordan Mason back? Is it too late? It's probably too late.
It's probably too late after last night.
You gotta go forward and be like, hey, when I made this trade, this was, I was bribed to the game. I was coerced. The other guy was a Jets fan, and he said he was going to make me watch all of the Jets games, and I just couldn't put up with that.
Hey, so you guys had 2 100-yard receivers, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. I think Achane almost had like 76 yards receiving or something like that, too. He had a nice day.
Yeah, well,
Crazy.
You know what, Jake, in the interest of not burying the lead on this game, the Dolphins were 2 yards away from losing this football game. In the third quarter, Travis Etienne was about to run it in from about 15 yards out, and Javon Holland punched the ball out on the 2-yard line. The Dolphins recovered in the end zone. Very next play, Tua hits Tyreek Hill for an 80-yard touchdown pass. So when Javon Holland punched that ball out, it was 17-7. It was about to be 24-7. Dolphins get that touchdown to Tyreek Hill. It's suddenly 17-14. Without that sequence of events, the Dolphins don't win this football game.
Yeah.
And it's important to, they did. I agree. And it's important to say that before you say anything else about the Dolphins, because anything good that happened for the Dolphins in that game happened as a result of that one play, that one moment. Tua throwing for over 300 yards. That doesn't happen. Tua was out of sync with his receivers in the first half. He was missing Tyreek Hill. He missed Braxton Berrios on a big play. He was out of sync. He wasn't sharp. The running game could not get going. Any positive play that they had was called back by either a hold or an illegal procedure penalty. They couldn't get out of their own way. And even in the second half, they struggled with that. They're a very undisciplined football team. And that's something that they're going to have to address moving forward. I love the fact that Mike McDaniel is a player's coach, quote unquote. Yeah. But at a certain point, you have to instill discipline in your players. You have to instill discipline in your football team. The Dolphins are a very undisciplined football team. Holds, there was one point when Raheem Mostert actually broke loose for, like a 10 to 12-yard game. There was a hold. Robert Jones was holding a guy 6 yards behind the play. That guy was out of the play. There was no need to hold him, and yet Robert Jones did it anyway. Jalen Waddle looked good. Tyreek Hill, came back from what happened to him on Sunday morning and looked good. Jalen Phillips got a sack in this game. He got a sack on that final Jaguars drive. the Dolphins did enough to come away with a victory, but I don't feel good about it. There are certain victories where you just say, well, it's a win's a win, but damn. And that's one of them. I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about the way the Dolphins played. If they play the same way against the Bills on Thursday, they're going to get their teeth kicked in. They're going to get the doors blown off.
You're sounding like a Jets fan.
Well, no, no, I sound like a Dolphins fan because Dolphins fans have been dealing with this for a really long time. The thing is that 2 straight playoff berths in the last 2 seasons, that raises the bar. So subpar football is no longer, 2 years ago, I might have said, oh, well, you know what? They won. So that's awesome. That's all that matters. Now I'm saying, you know what? You looked like crap while you did it. So be better, do better. Stop getting stupid penalties. Run the football. Tua, stop missing Tyreek on routes, and stop throwing in double coverage, stuff like that. Don't take sacks on the 35-yard line when you're in field goal range and knock yourself out of field goal range. The bar's been raised. The Dolphins need to be better because they're a contender in the NFL right now, and they are looking to compete for Super Bowls. So they need to do better. They played a bad football game, and that's not going to cut it against the kings of the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills.
We might have ourselves a shootout.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it, How
We
was
very
the
well
O-line?
might.
So I know you talked a little bit about Robert Jones, and I just wanted to get your take on that. The offensive line, was it better, worse, expected? Where was that at for you?
They were actually all right. Teron Armstead and Austin Jackson, the tackles, were, as expected, their 2 best linemen on the day. Aaron Brewer was decent for them. Robert Jones was bad. Robert Jones was real bad. And Liam Eichenberg, as much as I've derided him in the past, he was okay. He gave up 1 sack to Eric Armstead, but other than that, he was solid. If this offensive line stays healthy and gets some continuity throughout the season going forward, they're going to be all right. They're going to be all right. But anybody gets hurt, the injuries start to mount. I don't know who they're going to put in there.
Yeah.
But it was okay. I came away from it thinking this could work.
That's fair. And you know what? I will say this. Like, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And I thought you guys did a really nice job finishing. And hey, the NFL really is like a play-by-play type of league. And, that Javon Holland stepped up when he needed to. So I think you could at least take some solace in that. You held a pretty good Jaguars offense, I mean, on paper at least, to 17 points.
Yeah, and we held them scoreless in the second half as well.
Right.
Aided by that play by Javon Holland. But still, when the Jaguars had the ball with 4:22 left and all they had to do was get in the field goal range and kick a field goal, the Dolphins stopped them for a 1-yard game on first down and got 2 straight sacks. So generated pass rush. 2 straight sacks on Trevor Lawrence to end their game, to end their day offensively. One by Agba, one by Jalen Phillips. I think moving forward, Jessica, the Dolphins will be able to generate more of a pass rush. I like Anthony Weaver's aggressiveness. I liked his blitz packages in this game. Vic Fangio is kind of famous for not blitzing all that much. Anthony Weaver blitzes a lot more. He doesn't blitz to the extent of like a Brian Flores or the zero blitz where we're gonna send the house at them. But he picks and chooses his spots, and I liked what I saw from him. So yeah, Jessica, I think they will be able to generate a pass rush.
I don't love hearing that, but good answer. If Groot or Vaughn are pressuring Tua, he's going to have a long night.
Well,
3 sacks.
Look, the Jaguars had 3 sacks on the Dolphins, and Tua didn't have his best afternoon, but he still threw for over 300 yards with 2 pass rushers who are better than Groot and Vaughn. Let's be real about it.
For sure.
Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker are maybe the best pass rushing duo in the NFL.
Agreed.
When it comes right down to it. and they got 3 sacks, and Tua still got his. So, that's cute. RX fly fishing.
That's a very good point. Great rebuttal, Keith. I like it. Stand on business, baby. Miami's doggone it. Miami's secondary versus Josh Allen will be key. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. And
name of the game.
Their secondary had its struggles in this game. Jalen Ramsey did not have a great game. But again, they got stronger as the game went on. The defense got better as the game went on. And again, I shouldn't, I say all this with the caveat the Dolphins were 2 yards away from losing this game. But there are positives, and the defense got better. Tua kind of recovered and started throwing the ball better. The running game got better. Everything got better as the game went on. But again, you can't start out like this against the Bills. And I know the Bills feel the same about the Dolphins. They can't start out against the Dolphins the way they played against the Cardinals and expect to win against the Dolphins. Well, that's how the Dolphins feel about the Bills. Both teams want to start out much better than how they started out on Sunday.
I agree. And this brings on a great segue because
Yes.
I'm just going to get right into it, boys.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you how the Buffalo Bills finish. So don't mind if I do. One quick second here. We're going full screen for this one.
Oh, God.
That's Keon Coleman.
And
Now watch the play after.
I think the thing I love the most about the fact, just how Josh Allen plays was that, look, beautiful hurdle, but just the fact that he was able to find his offense with 2 new wide receivers and, losing. I think a lot of people had a lot of questions about Josh Allen, how he was going to perform this week 1, especially after losing Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, having a rookie wide receiver as your number 1, and then, of course, bringing back the only receiver from last year and Khalil Shakur. But I think he definitely kind of quieted down the doubters.
All right, I'm sorry, Chris. I didn't mean to just totally.
If you're going to show how they finished, that's not how the game finished.
No, you're right. You're right.
You should keep rolling to the kick return, and then you should keep rolling to the 3 and out, and then you should keep rolling to the Cardinals have the ball with the last 2 minutes, 3 timeouts, and a chance to end the game.
And
you're right.
Kyler Murray kept force feeding the ball to Greg Dortch, which made absolutely no sense to me, especially when you have what is the highest rated draft wide receiver draft prospect in recent history. So it just didn't make any sense, especially missing him on a wide open streak behind the defense, behind the cornerback, behind the safety. That would have sealed the game away. That's why even in the chat with you in the Discord, I said, hey, Kyler Murray must hate Marvin Harrison because it just didn't make any sense how he just got underutilized. And he messed me up. I drafted Marvin Harrison in a few leagues, and he messed me up bad this week. So,
well, they were also talking about Marvin Harrison, how he was running. He ran very few short routes. And I think a big thing for Kyler Murray was to help mitigate the Bills' pass rush was to kind of throw short, throw intermediate. Marvin Harrison was running much longer routes. He was running routes, 15, 20 yards down the field, whereas Greg Dortch was their slot guy, and he was running routes closer to the line of scrimmage. I'm not making excuses for Kyler Murray because you can't miss Marvin Harrison on that play, Chris.
Yeah.
And as somebody who has Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison on his fantasy football team, I was especially heartbroken by that one. But still.
Especially when I know, like you mentioned, if you want to mitigate the pass rush and you want to give your offense a chance, at what point do you air it out and give your guy a shot? What point do you put some trust in your wide receiver and give your guy a shot?
That's true. Yeah, I got to say, I do want to give the Cardinals their flowers and this is a game, Anthony, you warned us about this a little bit, right? This Cardinals team, they have some weapons. They have some good players on this team. And I think the Bills came in really flat. I mean, they got their asses handed to them in the first half. And luckily, we did make some adjustments in the second half. Jessica makes a good point. The defense technically actually gave up 5 points in the second half because of the 2-point conversion. There was a special teams kickoff return touchdown, first kickoff return touchdown in the history of the new kickoff rule, which was tough to watch. DJ Dallas just running out there free, like guys looking like Eddie Lacy out there taking a kickoff back to the house. No offense to DJ Dallas. I like DJ Dallas. Fine young player.
Eddie Lacy, Jake.
What's that?
He looked like he ate Eddie Lacy.
Yeah.
You look like an offensive lineman running away from you guys.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. And I will say this. I think Matthew Smiley has brought into the fact that he is probably on the hot seat again. That is our special teams. Yeah. And I like Matthew. I liked him initially, but the production on special teams in general just has not been very good. But yeah, let's talk about this a little bit. So the first half, I mean, we got the brakes beat off of us. I mean, it was tough. We were running the football well, but we weren't doing a whole lot of anything else. And luckily, at the end of the half, Josh Allen did have a rushing touchdown, which I think helped ignite the offense a little bit. Now, there were some really bad penalties that kind of screwed us from scoring touchdowns and preventing the Cardinals from actually, it changed a field goal or touchdown, or a field goal into a touchdown, I should say, due to a roughing the passer call. So there were some stupid penalties early on, but I was really happy with how the Bills rallied, and like the score right now is saying like, oh boy, I mean, the Bills defense, maybe they didn't play so hot in this game, which is, I would say that's true for the first half. But that second half, the adjustments that they made, I was very impressed with. And really, when you look at the statistics, I mean, Kyler Murray only threw for 162 yards. We sacked him, I think, in total 4 times. We had a nice strip sack by Groot was on fire. He had 3 sacks in this game. Now, granted, Jonah Williams did go out of the game. They had Kelvin Beachum come in at right tackle, so he took advantage of that. Kelvin Beachum, he started some games in the NFL, right? So it's not like you have a scrub out there at right tackle, but you could see that he wasn't the same player he was, 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah. So we took full advantage of that. And I commend Bobby Babich and Sean McDermott for making those adjustments and taking full advantage of, the situation, the given situation, I should say. I thought the corners really did a nice job. Rasul Douglas, Christian Benford, and then Cam Lewis, who had to come in for an injured Taron Johnson, played fantastic football. I mean, this guy made some really key plays, open field tackles. And listen, Trek Reviewer, our guy Trek Reviewer, who always comes in the chat saying hashtag cut Cam Lewis. Well, I'll tell you what, we're grateful that we had Cam Lewis on Sunday because this man is a Swiss Army knife as far as a defensive player goes, right? He could play nickel, he could play safety, he could do a little bit of everything. And it's nice to have a guy that can play multiple positions and knows the scheme so well that he's able to do it at an effective level like that. So hats off to Cam Lewis. I thought he played a tremendous game of football. Now, the bad news is, what's that, Keith or Chris?
I was going to say, it felt like in the second half, it just Cam Lewis had elevated his game to a point where all you did was you just hear him play after play after play, and he kind of rallied that Bills comeback.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, defensively, he was definitely one of the standout guys. Groot, obviously, too. I thought the linebacker play was solid. Dorian Williams had a nice fumble recovery. I thought the safeties did a fine job. And then Von Miller, man, had 2 tackles and a sack. He had 3 tackles all of last season. So that was nice to see. And I know the sack was like, he just touched Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray kind of tripped, and he just kind of touched him, so it registered a sack. We'll take it. We will take that all day, right? Von looked a lot better than what he did last season, so that was encouraging. Now, where I didn't have a whole lot of, I guess, time to evaluate, but just a little bit that I saw, in terms of like Eddie Oliver and the interior defensive line, definitely want to see a little bit more from them. I don't think it was Ed Oliver's best game, and I felt like the matchup interior-wise lined up really well for us, and I just didn't hear his name a whole lot. Daquan Jones did have a nice pass deflection, but otherwise, those 2 guys, I want to see a little bit more out of both of them. And then, you talk about the offensive side. Chris, I know I kind of cut you off with the Josh Allen highlight tape there. Just had to get that out there. This is a Buffalo Bills channel, so I had to play that highlight reel a couple times. Josh Allen hurdles again. I don't know how this man continues to do it. He paid for it a little bit because that left hand is hurt, but he'll be fine. He's playing on Thursday, full practice. We're fine. We're good.
It's not the important hand.
Right, offhand. So we are, we're surviving. But I thought what he did was extremely impressive. It was awesome to watch this offense click, where it wasn't just feeding the ball to Steph Diggs either. Single target. 9 players caught passes in this game, and everyone stepped up. I mean, Matt Collins scored a touchdown in this game. Khalil Shakir, the human pinball out there, did some beautiful things. And I think this man needs more targets in general. But I love what I saw from him. And then you guys saw that first highlight. That was a 50-50 ball to Keon Coleman, man, who caught 4 passes for 51 yards in this game. He was actually the leading receiver for the Buffalo Bills. believe it or not.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you look at all the first round receivers, and only Malik Neighbors had more receiving yards than Keon Coleman. So I'll take that as a win for week 1,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
But yeah, I really liked what the offense did. Obviously, scoring 34 points. There were a couple play calls where I was like, we're just running right into a loaded box. And, obviously some of that was due to just running the clock and killing clock and stuff. But I thought there were a few things that we could have done differently. But again, week 1, overall, man, I'm happy with the performance. I definitely think we need to start faster and still finish the same way. But it was a nail biter. And I was there. I tailgated. We won the tailgate and we won the game. And it's a beautiful thing. But I'm going to leave it to you guys. Give your full analysis on this game. And then we're going to move on to week 2.
So,
yeah, Chris. Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm not sure how much you caught during. I know while you were enamored with the highlight reel of the win, but I think just is a testament to Josh Allen's just fortitude and just his ability to really just play a high level of football because, like I mentioned, he has a whole new wide receiver core besides Khalil Shakur coming back. He has two new wide receivers to the offense after losing Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. So the fact that he was still able to perform, spread the ball around, and I think losing Stephon Diggs was probably the best thing because one of the biggest complaints that we had last year about Josh Allen in general was that he played a lot of hero ball. He didn't get, Gabe Davis, Gabe Davis, the GOAT. He didn't get him involved in the offense, and then it was just force feeding Stephon Diggs.
That's crazy.
So now that hero ball is done, we can actually see, if he's going to be able to lead this Bills and be the Bills team that we know they can be.
Well, he still played some hero ball. Let's not get it twisted. I mean, this man single-handedly took this offense down the field. Now, I will say this. It was very interesting to see the Cardinals' game plan defensively. There were times that Dalton Kincaid, who I have been on the record saying he's going to catch 100 passes this year, who only caught 1 pass in this game, by the way, he was quadruple covered at multiple points during this game. It was kind of crazy to watch. So that was definitely a focal point for the Cardinals was honing in on Dalton Kincaid and shutting him down, which allowed these other guys to kind of elevate and play better and do their thing. So if this is the way we win football games, I am okay with it. I don't want it to be a nail biter like it was, but offensively, if this is what we have to do to win football games, I'm good. It's okay. We don't have to have a 1,000-yard receiver. I still think Dalton Kincaid's going to have 1,300 yards. It's coming. Don't worry. But we don't have to have a Steph Diggs 115 catch season for 1,400 yards, and then you factor in the tight ends and everyone else, right? We don't have to have that at the receiver position in particular. So I like the fact that we were able to spread the football around and everyone contributed in a way. So I'll leave it at that. But anything else from you guys? And then we're going to move on to week 2 because we got to get onto that.
Well, I mean, you mentioned, Josh Allen playing hero ball. Josh Allen played hero ball better on Sunday than I've ever seen him play hero ball.
Agreed.
Yes.
So when I say Josh Allen hero ball, I meant like force feeding into like his favorite wide receiver.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
But Josh Allen basically threw on the cape and said, "We're going to win this game, come hell or high water." That's what Josh Allen did on Sunday. That's what I saw at least. He willed the Bills to victory. He willed the Bills offense out of a really bad start. If Josh Allen was going to have an MVP campaign, this was one hell of a way to kick it off.
Absolutely.
That's really all I have to say about that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Amen to that.
We do need to talk about if we're Josh Allen being here. He had to drag your offense kicking and screaming to 4 touchdowns.
Sure.
I mean, he won a lot of people fantasy weeks for sure, but he had to do that against a 4-win team last year.
That's true.
I know that Dalton Kincaid was quadruple covered. No, Dalton Kincaid was man covered and then ran into 3 other defenders who were playing 15 yards back because that's where it was 3rd and 15. Like they were playing sticks defense on that clip that keeps going around the internet. Okay, like it wasn't the game plan wasn't stop Dalton Kincaid. The game plan is always please don't let Josh Allen kill us. And they lost. The Cardinals lost, but the Cardinals were a 4-win team last year that looked dangerous this week.
Yeah,
I think the Cardinals are better than a 4. You're kind
do
of
too.
underselling them by calling them a 4-win team.
They were
I don't
hurt
disagree
last year.
They're better than a 4-win team, but this was a 4-win team last week, and every single time we had a Bills rep up, even you talked about the fact that this is a 10-point game minimum. It was going to be a comfortable win.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was not. It was anything but comfortable. In fact, the Cardinals had every opportunity to win the game at the end, and that needs to be talked about. The Cardinals had the ball last. It's like, hey, Siri, what's the most brutal way that the Bills can lose a game? And we've seen it happen over and over again over the last 4 years.
Yeah, that's true. You're not wrong about that. And I will say, I thought that was PI for a hot second on Greg Dortch.
Sorry, my Siri actually just answered that.
What did she say?
She's asking me to check out her Google search.
That's
anyway,
pretty good.
This was not a comfortable win. This was not an easy game to watch as a Bills fan. And
I was
now
there,
you're
brother.
playing the Dolphins,
I feel that.
The Dolphins had definitely had their tune-up phase against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I warned Keith about the fact that the Jaguars have a nasty pass rush.
Mhm.
Yes.
The Dolphins are they themselves are starting to get a bit of a nasty pass rush. They got after the Jaguars pretty well. It was a good game. Like, this game Thursday is meaningful. It's important. We should go to it, but I do. Let's not bury the lead, like Keith likes to say. The Bills got away a little bit.
You're right. And listen, I respect you saying that. I 100% agree. And I do think we need to talk about that, because it was a nail biter. I mean, we escaped the Arizona Cardinals, right? We could talk about Josh Allen's play, which was MVP-esque, right? But the reality of this game was that we did escape an Arizona Cardinals team. So that is definitely true. And we are going to have to bring our A game against this Miami Dolphins team. I mean, I know our boy Sean Kula is already calling for a loss. He's saying maybe like 48-24 Fins, Keith. So, I think the reality is, like, the competition and the level of it is only going to get better as we move forward here, especially this first 6 weeks. And we're on prime time for the next 3 weeks in a row. We got a Thursday night game against the Fins. We got a Monday night home game against Jacksonville. And then we're at the Ravens on Sunday night. So, or I think it's Monday night too. Yeah. But, it's wild, man. No, it is a Sunday night, but, it's only going to get more difficult. So 100% agree. I think, listen, we're going to have to figure it out. I like the adjustments the defense made. We only allowed 5 points in the second half. That was the defense we thought we were going to get in the first half. Didn't turn out that way. Special teams, we got to definitely tighten it up, because
dude, you guys lost the opener last year on a punt return touchdown. I know that Mike's saying it was comfortable to the kickoff return touchdown. Well, it was comfortable last year till the punt return touchdown.
I know. The good news is, though, I'll say this: Tyler Bass did not miss a field goal. So he has had a very up and down last 6 months with us here in Buffalo. So I'm happy to hear. I was happy to at least see he looked confident out there. So that's the one special teams thing I could take away. And by the way, Reed Ferguson, number 69, all clean snaps. Just gotta say that. That's my boy. So, and by the way, let's talk about that, because I know, Keith, you have a hard stop at 9. Let's get into it real quick. The marquee matchup between the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins, the matchup between the Ferguson brothers, the two long snappers, Blake Ferguson and Reed Ferguson, which is definitely something that needs to be highlighted. But how about this game Thursday night? How we feeling after week 1 going into this matchup between the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins?
Well, Jake, I don't think either of us are feeling good. I don't think either of us are feeling great about this game. I don't feel good about the way the Dolphins played on Sunday. I know you don't feel great about how the Bills played on Sunday. I feel better about how the Dolphins ended. You feel better about how the Bills ended. This is anybody who thinks they know what's going to happen in this game is fooling themselves, because nobody knows what's going to happen in this game. I have no idea how the Dolphins are going to handle Josh Allen. I have no idea how the Dolphins are going to handle the Bills' pass rush. I don't know how the Bills are going to handle the Dolphins without Taron Johnson. I don't know how the Bills are going to handle the Dolphins' wide receivers and running attack and the Dolphins' burgeoning pass rush. I don't have a prediction, because I have no clue how this game's going to go. But I mean, if you want, Dolphins haven't beaten the Bills in 2 years. They've lost like 9 of their last 10 against the Buffalo Bills. If you want a prediction, I guess that's the first place to start. But every season is different from the next. This is going to be such a fun football game. It's fun for people who aren't Dolphins and Bills fans. For me, it's just going to be stressful.
Well, I got to show you something, Keith. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. All right.
All right.
So this is our survivor pool, right? And I just want to show you guys my pick for this. So this is Joe. By the way, Joe has been on our show before. He is
Yes.
one of our other Pats reps. So he sent out his email, NFL Survivor Pool Week 1 results, right? So I jumped right on this. And
All right.
he gave a breakdown of the payouts. He said, $169 for second place. I said, I absolutely love that. And you must have an elite sense of humor because I had 69 to everything to end it off, yada, 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 right? But then I said, this week, I am taking the Buffalo Bills over the Miami Dolphins. This is the type of energy we all need. And for that, if I happen to fall on the sword, so be it. But our Lord and Savior, Josh Allen, will not let that happen. Thanks.
Lord and
Bills.
Savior.
I know.
Well,
little intense. I'm enamored, guys. Listen, look at my shirt. Are you kidding me?
That's funny.
We waited
Jake,
17 years. No, more than that.
I'll say,
26
Jake,
years.
did you survive week 1?
Did I survive it?
Yeah.
Well, I took the Bengals. So we have, like I said, we actually are allowed 2 losses.
it's double elimination, Chris.
I sadly did take the
I was-
Bengals. Yes.
I was
and I
going
paid
to
for it.
say, because it looks like you might be out at week 2.
Oh, I love it. This is great. Yeah, it's going to be a good matchup. And I'll tell you this, I like as confident as I was in that email, I don't know if I'm really that confident. I just kind of wanted to, add some entertainment value to the show here. So I did this for us. Okay, guys.
All right.
This is
So
going
it
to
was
be
all a publicity stunt. You don't have
Maybe.
any faith in your team.
call it what you
Unlike
may.
us. Listen, Chris and I believe in the Patriots. We're going to go win the Super Bowl. And,
Wow.
you guys are just fakers and phonies who don't like your teams very much, frankly.
Dude, I love my team.
I love my team. Yeah.
But the realist in me too is like, okay, you get some butterflies, you get some nervous butterflies, right? I mean, we
Especially
saw
when
what the
Mahomes involved.
Dolphins. The Dolphins have a legitimate team, and the Buffalo Bills. I mean, let's not get it twisted. That defense in the first half, we show up like that against Miami, they're going to drop 40 on us,
Yeah.
plain and simple.
But in the same respect, Jake, we show up in the first half against the Bills the way we showed up against the Jaguars. You're going to drop 40 on us. I'm hoping that what Anthony said is right, and it was just a tune-up game for the Dolphins because they didn't play a lot of guys in the preseason. Tua played 1 series in the preseason. Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, they didn't see the field in the preseason. I'm hoping that's all it was. I'm hoping now that they got that out of the way and got the cobwebs out, they can actually play some real football. But Mike's absolutely right. This game is huge. Early in the year, it means so much. I think it means more to the Dolphins actually than it does to the Bills, because I think the Dolphins need to kind of get this monkey off their back, this Bills monkey, the fact that they can't beat the Bills off their back and beat a legitimate playoff team. They need to just kind of do this and be able to move forward with their season. They have some demons to exercise on Thursday. I'm not gonna go as bold as you, Jake, and take the Dolphins as my suicide pool pick, but I will take the Dolphins in this game.
I like it.
I
Give me
will
a
take
score, Keith. Give me a score.
I think they need this more than the Bills, and I think it's going to show out on Thursday. 27-24.
Oof. Listen, I've been to a couple of heartbreak games, and that Miami game from a couple years ago and that dreaded heat. I mean, Josh Allen went off. I think he threw for over 400 yards or something like that, but we lost by 2, and it was brutal, man. And I got to say, although I think the ratio was like 60-40 Bills to Dolphins fans, those Dolphins fans were loud. And I know you guys are proud of your team down there. And there is a lot at stake here in terms of obviously a division game. And then the fact that the Dolphins really, they've been beaten up by the Buffalo Bills. This is almost like, you go back to like the 70s and 80s when the Dolphins had that long winning streak against the Buffalo Bills. I forget how many games it was in a row. Yeah. Right. So it almost feels that way, right? In some ways, right, for you guys. So yeah, I think there's a lot to play for. You guys are obviously very dangerous on offense. And it scares me a little bit. Josh Allen's gonna have to do Josh Allen like things in the most positive way I can speak of,
Yeah.
So I think this has the ability to become a shootout, and it's gonna be fun, man. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
It's I'm with you, Jake. I can't wait either, but I'm this game's Bills week is always just nerve-wracking for me. I wake up and that's all I think about, so I'm always happy when Bills week's over, because then I get to sleep again.
Well, likewise. Listen, we're not overlooking I hope I'm not overlooking the Dolphins. I hope the Bills aren't overlooking the Dolphins, right? And I think, keys to victory obviously is just getting into his face, doing what we did a little bit against the Arizona Cardinals. And I'll argue that maybe your offensive line is around maybe a little bit better than the Cardinals. I think at the tackle position, definitely.
Yeah.
At least you still have Terran Armstead, right? So maybe there's a chance that we can do what we did against the Cardinals, against you guys. That's what I'm hoping for, obviously. We need Groot to keep it up. But I think you guys can also pick us apart, too. You got speed. You can't coach speed, and it could get ugly, So, yeah, my key to victory is just through JA-17 again, and that's okay. If we have to win football games like that, I am okay, as long as he stays healthy.
My key to victory is find a way to shut him down, spying him, because he kills us with our legs. He kills us with his legs. But find a way to keep Josh Allen in the pocket and keep him throwing the football, because I don't think the Bills' pass rushers are up to snuff. And I think if you take away one aspect of Josh Allen's game and take away his rushing ability and just make him throw the ball and kind of keep him cocooned within the pocket, that's how you beat Josh Allen with the Bills in their current iteration in 2024.
Make him play hero ball by throwing the football.
Yes, exactly.
Essentially. Yeah, that makes sense. Like the Jets game last year almost. And
just make him keep that cape on the sidelines.
Well, I hope it doesn't happen. And listen, may the best man win. Keith, I got nothing but respect for you guys. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, man.
I'm going to sign off, guys. I have to go.
Hell yeah, brother. Take care. Go Bills.
Fins up.
20 straight games, by the way. That's insane. Crazy. All right. You guys have any comments, or should we stop talking about Josh Allen?
I do have business to attend to tonight as well, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to take my leave.
All right, brother. Hey,
American business.
That's right.
Have a good night, guys.
Take care, brother.
Right, take it easy.
Absolutely. Any other comments about that, guys, or should we just move on here? Because I know you're probably sick of talking about JA-17.
No, I think I tend to agree with. I tend to agree with what you guys said. I mean, I think that the key to beating the Bills is to make them one-dimensional. Yeah. I don't. If the run game isn't going and Josh Allen has to put the team on his back, that's when I think he's at both his most dangerous and his most vulnerable.
Sure. Yeah.
I personally, I know you guys are huge fans of what Josh Allen did, but like, it scares me when he has to take off all the time. He takes a lot of shots, dude. He took a lot of shots in that Cards game.
I could not imagine how he was feeling the next day.
And I wasn't kidding when I said, like, it's just week one. There's 16 more of these to go. And most of the teams are bigger, faster, and hit harder than the Cards.
Yep. I know, and he's built different. There's no doubt. But at a certain
For
point,
sure.
something's going to give, and I am scared for that. And Josh says
Yeah.
it. He always says, he's like, you know what? I can't be doing that. I'm not going to last very long if I keep doing that. But he still
Mhm.
does it, and I love it. But man, it gets scary sometimes. There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I think for sure if the Bills aren't able to stop the Dolphins' just offensive powerhouse between Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, then it's just going to have to be a shootout at the end of the day. And I think it's going to make for an entertaining game. Personally, I'm going with the Dolphins for this week, only because the spread on Hard Rock Bet is like plus 0.15 for the Bills.
Is it really?
Or,
Okay.
yeah, it's like the spread is like plus 1.5 versus minus 1.5 for the Dolphins. I'm like, I'm gonna take minus 1.5 any day. So
Sure. Yeah.
so,
All
but
right.
outside
Well,
of that,
yeah, let's talk about your guys' games a little bit here. So obviously we have we got Jets at Titans, Ant.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that one?
Listen, I was at a Bears fans house this weekend. Obviously, I live in Chicago, so I got to watch the Titans, and Will Levis is exactly who I thought he was. He is the luckiest SOB to be in the NFL right now. He got away with like 3 interceptions before the Bears actually started turning him over.
Yeah. They were up 17-0 in that game. What the hell happened?
They were up 17-0, but he tried his best to throw 3 interceptions before that. One of them to two of them to Tyreek Stevenson, and then there's a third one to somebody else, a linebacker that almost maybe it was TJ Edwards. I think it was actually TJ Edwards was right in front. Could have just put his hands up and taken it from him. And then, he started doing Will Levis type stuff.
Yeah.
You saw some of those interceptions. You saw that little flick? Everybody saw that flick on Twitter.
Yeah.
Holy crap. So
That's
yeah,
brutal.
no, he just started doing exactly what you expect him to do. He's not a good quarterback, man. He's a terrible quarterback. And so, like, I don't want to go too deep into this game because the truth of the matter is if the Jets do lose this game, I agree with the chat. We're packing it in. I will start if the Jets lose this game, I will start I will start my draft prep.
Oh God,
Okay.
no, you can't do that. No.
I will start my draft prep. I will start taking requests from the chat on players to start scouting.
Man.
I will put my scouting reports in the Discord, and we're just going to start on draft prep, and I'm just giving up on the season. We lose this game, that's what happens.
That's brutal. I don't think you guys are losing this game.
Me neither.
Your defense is going to step up in a huge way. Okay. It's going to be a lot different. I think it's going to be, nice little get back game for you guys. You're going to be feeling real good after this. I think Breece Hall's going to have himself today.
We got a few of those coming up. We got a few of those coming up. We got the Titans.
You do. You have a really nice, I think this is good. Maybe the best thing that could have happened to you guys is this 49ers game. Little gut check, right? You know where you have to be. And I can kind of build up a little bit.
Yeah, now we get a couple more preseason games to actually, get some playing time out there without like the threat of really desperately needing to win them. And then we get the Vikings in London, and then we get the Bills week 6.
Yeah, that's Monday night, I believe.
Is
right?
it?
I think it is in New York.
Is it crazy of me to be looking ahead that far? But like I kind of am. That's when I feel like the season begins.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, your schedule really is. It's kind of a sorry, Chris, but it is a little bit of a cakewalk.
I'm good with it.
Yeah. But anyways, let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks and New England Patriots game this upcoming week. Now that Seattle, surprising victories for both these teams, in week 1, right? I guess maybe not so surprising for Seattle against Denver.
Yeah.
But definitely for you guys, right? So, you're going up against a young, talented defense. You have some really good players in the secondary there in Seattle. What's your key to victory in this one, Chris?
I think the key to victory, honestly, is just going to be that Jacoby Brissett has to do more than just lean on Ramondre Stevenson this week. Fortunately, I think him and Geno Smith are kind of the same quarterback. It's like 2 slow quarterbacks. They're not going to really beat you through the air. They're kind of game managers. I think somebody mentioned that Jacoby Brissett was the slowest black quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah,
so
Gerard Mayo, his head coach, said that in the press conference. He is the slowest black quarterback I've ever seen, or the slowest black quarterback in the NFL.
So it's
Wow.
kind of funny. So it just, I mean, he was able to get a couple yards with his legs, but honestly, it's just if we just keep our defense up, able to shut down DK Metcalf because he's, of course, he's going to be the biggest threat. He's a freak of nature. So
Yeah,
just
he is.
keeping DK Metcalf contained, which is kind of hard because he's he's a specimen. He's a giant specimen, and I don't know if Christian Gonzalez has just the size and ability to, but I wouldn't count him out. He's the silent assassin. CG number 0 now, CG0. So I'm just looking forward to a game, and I think I can say safely that I'm just happy that football's back.
Hell yeah, brother. I know Mike was asking who's your number one. Technically, it is probably Jalen Polk, I would say, right? Your rookie,
Taekwon.
or Demario Douglas really is probably the number one option. He's a slot guy.
I don't know. I'd probably number one. It's tough. It's definitely between I want to say Taekwon and Demario Douglas. Yeah, but I'd probably give it to Taekwon Thornton until we see
Mike Thornton's cousin, by the way.
That's his cousin. Yeah,
really. we like to joke around and say it is. No, it's not.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, just until we see something out of Jalen Polk, until there's a clear decisive. I don't think we'll really find a number one wide receiver in this offense until we get Drake May out there. I think it's a really smart decision that Gerard Mayo has. Let him get his reps in, let him build up his confidence, let him let him get hungry for the opportunity, and then until we just see that. Until we see the point that Jacoby Brissett just can't manage the game, he's not doing it for us, then I think we won't really see Drake May in there. We won't really see the explosive offense that I feel like we had because we went out there, we got those young core, we got the wide receiver core we needed. Well, we got the pieces we needed. Now we just need kind of like a quarterback to bring everything together. So, and I mean, preseason is not really indicative of what we can see because if that was the case, then Caleb Williams would have had a much better game. But so I'm just really excited to see how Drake May is going to adjust to the speed of the NFL.
Dude, it's crazy. I'm actually looking at the numbers from last week. Jacoby Brissett had 7 carries for 32 yards. You're calling this man the slowest? Come on, now.
Gerard
Mayo.
The pocket kept him clean. I was very happy to see how the pocket kept him clean and just opened up those lanes for him. And so, much better look than last year. But overall, I don't know. He was able to get out there and do some things with his legs, but it's not. Yeah, it's not common. I don't think that's something we're going to look forward to seeing all season long.
For sure. Well, I mean, we talk about it. We've talked about this plenty of times, me and Anth, talking about how Jacoby Brissett, guys like him, can will teams to victories that, you put a rookie quarterback out there, he's not doing the same things. Jacoby Brissett has the mind and just enough ability to get by. I mean, saw what he did with the Browns and some of these other teams, the Commanders, even for a hot second. And the Colts, I like Jacoby, and I think it's good that Drake is sitting a little bit, especially with the state of your offensive line.
Yeah.
How did they play, by the way, Chris, the O-line?
I feel like they played good. They opened up the lanes for Ramondre Stevenson. I mean, he pretty much scampered in there for untouched for the touchdown that we had. Outside of that, you didn't really see there was a little bit of pressure on Jacoby Brissett, but he was able to kind of maintain, stick in that pocket and spread that ball out. So I guess for what it was worth, but it's a lot better than last year. And I'm just looking forward to it improving.
That's good, man.
I actually think that he's being rather nice. I think their offensive line was hot garbage. And Jacoby Brissett survived. It was
optimistic. I just like to be optimistic. I mean, we're gonna, we got the W.
We got a rookie, Caden Wallace. Is he your starting tackle, Caden Wallace?
I believe
or
so.
City So, or no, Vidarian Lowe, right? Is left tackle? I think it is. Caden Wallace is a backup, I believe. Anwanu and Vidarian. Yeah, those are your tackles. Yeah. I probably would agree with that. And I will say it was a good test though, because that's a pretty good defensive line in Cincinnati, right? So at least you can hold your head up on that.
I'm just gonna quickly share the offensive line scores for the week.
Let's hear this. So here we go. I can't wait to hear this. Oh, here we go. Oh, we got it right here. Hold on one second.
Yeah. It's not the best.
I can't see it.
I'm sharing that on my screen right now.
Oh, we got to figure out the screen share thing. There we go. Yeah.
Not that PFF grades are the end all be all, but it's not great.
So you guys went with Chukwuma or I can't even pronounce
Okafor.
Chuku Okafor. Yeah,
Chukwuma
interesting.
Okafor. Yeah.
I actually like Onwenu. I don't think he's too bad.
No,
David
you know
Andrews,
what?
very
Fine.
solid center.
Yeah.
But yeah, City So. Wow, no grade on City So. Was he hurt?
Yeah. I'm not sure actually. There's it's not clear as to what happened there.
Yeah.
Like he's a little
Interesting.
questionable. He looked like he drew a questionable tag, so he might have been hurt.
I think this is the best thing you could be doing with a rookie, is to have a veteran come in, get to setting protection, get the offensive line to gel, know that about week 8 or 9 they should be in decent enough shape for him to take back over. And once he does, I think Drake May is the real deal. We both do.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, he's your modern day Phillip Rivers, man. Like he's going to be a guy in this league. You just got to get him the right personnel, you know.
Yeah.
And I think you guys are building there. You're young right now, so definitely encouraged for sure. Which I don't like saying that about New England. I'm over New England being a good team. I'm glad you guys are in a little bit of a lull right now. It's a beautiful thing to see.
We're optimistic. We got rid of our we got rid of what's it called? I forgot his name already. Look, that's how quickly you forget the past.
No Belichick? Come on.
No, not Belichick.
Okay, I was gonna say, come on.
Belichick doesn't have a job. I'm talking about Mac Jones. I'm glad we got rid of Mac Jones.
The best backup quarterback in the NFL right now.
I was gonna say, man, yeah, he's he was balling in the preseason for Jacksonville.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah,
preseason.
He's looking good.
Caleb Williams balling preseason.
Yeah, I love what Weston says here. I don't know about that, but if he is, I'll take that all day, Weston. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Route running needs a little bit of work. He's a good 50-50 ball guy. It's interesting that we went that direction, but Josh supposedly handpicked him, so I'm going to trust in our guy. How about this, bro? I can't wait till Joe Milton does, if he ever gets a start. He does. Yeah.
I'm so sick. I mean, it's just, I love Joe Milton. He balled out in preseason. He looked sharp. He looked good, but I don't think the Patriots really go with their third stringers. I mean, just look at Malik Cunningham. I was so high on Malik Cunningham last year, and they just never gave him a chance, especially with
he's a receiver now. They converted him, I think.
How dare you talk bad about Malik Willis, the best wide receiver not in the NFL right now.
Right?
Yeah. Malik Willis is you said Malik Willis?
Yeah, he's converted wide receiver for the
I'm talking about Malik
Cunningham.
Malik
Willis. That's a good
starting wide receiver of the Green Bay Packers this week, guys.
Yeah.
We need to get out of here. This is already getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I think Malik Cunningham could have been something. But Joe Milton, we'll see. I think he might become something if they give him an opportunity. But that's only if, of course, Jacoby Brissett and Drake May go down.
For sure. Yeah. Jalen Polk, yeah, absolutely a sleeper receiver. I agree, Weston. I agree. I think it's about time to wrap up, boys. I gotta head upstairs. I hear the little ones up there making some noise, but hey, I appreciate this. This is fun. We had 2 Pats reps on the night. Are you kidding me? Let's do more of this. Chris, it was great to see you again. Anth, always a pleasure, brother. I missed you guys. This is it was a nice little reunion. To everyone out there in the chat, we appreciate the input tonight. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, do the whole shebang. We have a Discord as well. Tom, want to thank you for the super chat. Thank you very much. And with that being said, we're on to week 2, boys. It's kind of crazy. The season moves fast, and we are 2 days away from Bills at Dolphins. It's going to be wild. But until then, I'm going to sign off by saying go Bills. I'm going to put it to Ant to give his take flight. What is it? Take flight. Chris, what do you guys say over there? Pats Nation? That's it?
Yeah, we say just Pats Nation.
Or you just say 6? You just put your fingers up like this or something?
Yeah,
or
6.
You can't even do it.
I don't know. I guess I would do 3s, all 3s.
Yeah, there you go.
I think the Jets should change their new slogan to crash and burn.
Oh, horrible. Man, this man took some shots tonight. Anth, way to hang in there. I know you took some shots on the chin, man.
I had to throw my one out there. That was the only one for the night for me. So,
yeah. Well, thank you everyone for watching. We appreciate you. Good night. Take care. Go Bills.